Have you ever looked up and wondered, where did the time go? One day you were dreaming, planning, imagining the life you'd create, and then somehow you blinked. And years passed, goals untouched, dreams collecting dust, life moving forward without you. You weren't lazy, you weren't incapable, you were just waiting for the right moment, waiting for the motivation, waiting until it felt safe, waiting until you felt ready. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. Life doesn't wait. It keeps moving, whether you move with it or not. And while you can't pause life, you can miss it completely. You can miss the opportunity that passed while you hesitated. You can miss the relationship that faded while you stayed guarded. You can miss your potential, not because it wasn't real, but because you didn't act. You see, life is not a rehearsal. There are no do-overs, no second takes. You don't get to rewind the tape and fix the scenes you avoided. This is it. Your one shot, your one story. And every single day you are writing it, either with courage or with excuses. We've been tricked into thinking we have time, that we can always start tomorrow, that we can chase our dreams later. But later is a lie. Later becomes never. And one day when the clock runs out, it won't be the things you tried that haunt you. It'll be the ones you never dared to begin. So many of us are alive, but not really living. We're breathing, eating, scrolling, working, but our souls are asleep. We're not building, we're not growing, we're not becoming who we were meant to be. Why? Because fear convinces us to stay still. Comfort tells us we're okay right here. But deep down, you know you were made for more. You feel it. That quiet pull in your chest, that whisper saying, this isn't all there is. That voice begging you to stop sleepwalking through your life. This message, the is moment, is your wake-up call. No more waiting, no more doubting, no more telling yourself you'll start when it's easier. Start now, start afraid, start messy, but start. Because the clock doesn't care about your excuses. Time won't slow down for your hesitation. Life is happening now. And if you don't take control of your story, you'll wake up in someone else's version of it. So this is your line in the sand. You can't pause life, you can't rewind it, but you can decide that from this moment on, you refuse to miss it. Because the life you want, the person you're meant to be, they're waiting on the other side of action. And they're asking you one question. Are you finally ready to live? Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. There's no pause button in life. No rewind, no second take. Every second that passes is gone forever. Yet too many of us live as if we have unlimited time. We say, I'll do it tomorrow. Someday I'll change, or I'm just waiting for the right moment. But here's the truth most people ignore. Life keeps moving even when you don't. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day and realize you missed it. Look around you. Every minute, someone is getting ahead. Someone is building something. Someone is taking a risk. Someone is starting small, failing, learning, trying again, while you're still stuck in planning mode. There's nothing wrong with thinking things through, but if your thoughts don't lead to action, they're just noise. Dreams without action become regrets. Ideas without movement become frustration. Think of all the things you told yourself you'd start last year, that course you were going to take, that business idea you kept thinking about, the habit you were going to build. What happened? Most likely, nothing, because comfort seduced you, distractions trapped you, fear froze you, and time moved on, like it always does. And let's not pretend it's because you don't have time. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. The difference isn't time, and the difference is urgency. People who act, who grow, who achieve, they move like life is slipping through their fingers, because it is. You don't need more time. You need to stop wasting it. You need to stop waiting for a version of yourself that has more confidence, more money, more motivation. That version isn't coming. You build that version by doing it afraid, doing it messy, doing it now. Start ugly, start uncertain, but start. Because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Not just because time passes, but because your mind starts believing the lie that you're not capable, that you've already missed your chance. And once that belief takes root, it chains you to a life of almosts and what ifs. So if there's something in your heart, a goal, a dream, a better life, stop waiting. Stop thinking about how hard it might be. Start thinking about how it will feel to look back one day knowing you never tried. Life is not a rehearsal. This is it, right now. Every moment you hesitate, someone else is building. Every day you delay, someone else is moving forward. Don't get left behind in your own life, because life won't wait for you, and it shouldn't have to. The cost of delay is invisible. Until it's too late, you don't feel it at first. The cost of delay doesn't scream, it whispers, silently, patiently, disguised as harmless distractions and small decisions, skipping one workout, delaying one project, ignoring that uneasy feeling in your heart. It all feels like nothing until it becomes everything. And then one day you look in the mirror and wonder, how did I get here? You see, life has a funny way of moving on without you. The days blur together, weeks become months, and the things you once burned to achieve slowly fade into background noise. Not because you didn't care, but because you kept waiting for the right time, the perfect plan, the fear to go away. But the truth is, time doesn't stop just because you're unsure. Opportunity doesn't freeze while you figure it out. And the biggest cost? It's not just what you miss externally, the money, the progress, the career, the growth. It's what you lose internally: confidence, belief, identity. You start to forget who you were before you began settling. You used to believe you were meant for more. But delay after delay dulls your fire. You start telling yourself, maybe I'm not meant to win. That's the real tragedy. Not the missed opportunities, but the missed version of you that never got the chance to rise. Let's be real. It's not life that's in your way. It's hesitation. It's the habit of pushing your potential to later. And the scary part? Later becomes never. Not because you said no, but because you said not now too many times. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones who made something of their lives. They weren't born lucky, they weren't fearless, they just didn't delay. They felt the fear and moved anyway. They didn't let their doubts rob them of time. They made a choice to act now, to fail forward, to take the first step even if it wasn't perfect. And that's what you need to understand. Delaying your goals won't make them easier. It only makes them further away. It only strengthens the walls between you and who you're meant to become. So ask yourself, what are you delaying right now? What dream have you shelved because it wasn't the right time? And more importantly, what is that delay costing you? Not just in time, but in energy, in belief, in self-worth. Every day you wait is a day you could have built. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall between you and your breakthrough. The clock is ticking whether you move or not, but only movement brings change. Stop paying the price of delay. Start claiming the reward of action. Small moments shape big destinies. Don't waste them. Most people think greatness happens in grand gestures, big opportunities, massive decisions, but that's not the truth. The real shift, the one that builds success, purpose, legacy, it happens in the smallest moments. The moment you decide to get up instead of snoozing your alarm. The moment you choose focus over distraction. The moment you act when it's uncomfortable. These moments are small, but they are everything. Because life is made up of tiny choices, day after day. And every choice, no matter how invisible it seems, is shaping your future. You don't become disciplined overnight. You don't stumble into greatness in one big leap. You earn it in silence, in the hidden hours when no one's watching. And when you neglect these moments, that's when you start missing your life. You miss the opportunity to become more. You miss the chance to rise above old habits. You miss the inner voice that says, keep going, you're building something. Instead, you numb out, you scroll, you binge, you delay, and it feels harmless. But in reality, you're trading growth for comfort. And here's the danger. You rarely feel the consequences of one small excuse, but stack 100 of them, that's a year gone, a dream delayed, a life unlived. Look around at the most successful, fulfilled people you admire. They don't live more hours than you. They've just learned the power of small intentional choices. They've mastered the art of honoring the moment. Even when they don't feel like it. Even when no one claps for them. Even when it's boring, repetitive, or hard. Because they know these moments add up. You don't write a book in a day. You write one paragraph at a time. You don't build strength overnight. You show up rep after rep. You don't become confident by waiting. You earn it through consistent action. And the moment you start treating small moments like they matter is the moment your life begins to change. So today ask yourself, what small action are you ignoring? What simple habit could you build if you just gave it 5 minutes daily? What would happen if, instead of waiting for motivation, you created momentum? Because that's the secret. You don't need massive changes. You need micro commitments, small disciplines, quiet victories, and the humility to do them again tomorrow. Big destinies are never built in big days. They're built in small, ordinary moments, honored with extraordinary consistency. Don't overlook the power of the moment you're in. It might feel small now, but one day you'll look back and realize it was everything. You're not stuck. You're just waiting too long to move. You're not stuck. You've just been sitting still for too long. The longer you wait, the heavier life starts to feel. Not because things are impossible, but because you've convinced yourself that movement needs to be perfect, planned, or painless. That's not true. What you really need is this: motion. Imperfect, messy, uncertain motion. So many people say they're stuck, but what they really mean is they're scared. Scared to fail. Scared to be seen trying. Scared to step out and not know what happens next. But here's the truth. Fear grows in stillness. The longer you delay action, the more powerful fear becomes. Think about it. How many times have you replayed a decision in your head over and over, making it bigger than it really was? How many dreams have you talked yourself out of simply because you didn't act fast enough? That's what stillness does. It invites doubt to take control. It turns small fears into massive walls. But motion is magic. Even one step forward begins to break the illusion of stuck. When you act, you tell your brain, I'm not powerless, I'm in control. You shift from victim to creator, and it doesn't matter if the step is small. The act of moving, of doing something, breaks the chains that keep you grounded in place. You don't need to fix your whole life today. You don't need to solve every problem, but you do need to move. Maybe it's writing the first sentence, making the first call, lacing up your shoes and walking for 10 minutes, posting your first video, even if it's not perfect. These are not small things. They're the seeds of change. Stuck is not a condition, it's a decision. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. You are not helpless. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You're just one action away from forward momentum. Even the most successful people feel stuck sometimes. The difference is they don't stay there. They use action as the cure. They don't wait for clarity. They create clarity by doing. You will never think your way into confidence. You have to act your way into it. So if you feel like you're sinking, start moving. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for motivation. Take a deep breath, pick one direction and go. Do something uncomfortable. Shake up the routine. Change the energy. Remind yourself that you're still alive and still capable. Because here's the hard truth. You're not stuck because life is holding you back. You're stuck because you're holding yourself back. Let go. Move forward. Even if it's slow. Even if it's scary. Because motion brings progress. And progress, even the smallest kind, brings power. The life you want is built in the days you ignore. Everyone wants the highlight reel, the big moments, the breakthroughs, the applause. But few people respect the ordinary days. The ones that feel slow, quiet, uneventful. The truth is, those are the days that build you. Not the big moments, but the boring ones. Not the breakthroughs, but the daily decisions. You want a strong body? It's not built in one epic workout. It's built in the 45-minute sessions when no one's watching. You want peace of mind? It's not given after one meditation. It's earned in the moments you choose calm over chaos. You want financial freedom? It's not created in one lucky break. It's born in the habits of saving, investing, sacrificing, consistently. But here's what happens to most people. They ignore the days that feel too quiet. They skip the gym because they're tired. They blow the budget because it's just one time. They skip writing because nothing's flowing. And they tell themselves it doesn't matter. But it does. It always does. The life you want doesn't show up at once. It's slowly stacking behind the scenes, built brick by what you do when no one claps, when no one sees, and when you don't feel like it. If you ignore the average day, you destroy the extraordinary future. Think about this. What if your results 5 years from now depended only on what you did today? No more tomorrows, no resets, just today. Would you still waste it? Would you still scroll for hours? Would you still put off your growth? Every ignored day is a missed opportunity, and not just to get ahead, but to build identity. Because what you do today is what you become tomorrow. That's the formula. It's not about who you wish to be, it's about who you prove you are daily. And the days that feel slow, they test that. They ask you, will you still show up even when it's not exciting? Because if you only I work when it's exciting, you're not building discipline, you're chasing dopamine. The future belongs to those who honor the ordinary. They wake up and train without motivation. They write when no inspiration flows. They build when it's lonely. They keep showing up because they understand this one rule. You don't rise when it's easy. You rise when it's boring. So today, look around at your habits. Ask yourself, am I building something or just passing time? Am I moving forward or just waiting for a spark? Because your dream life isn't waiting for a big event. It's waiting for you to show up today. One workout, one deep breath, one focused hour, one brave decision. That's all it takes. Don't ignore today. It's the foundation of everything you want. If you don't choose your life, someone else will. Let this sink in. If you don't choose your life, someone else will choose it for you. Every single day, you're making decisions, or letting them be made for you. When you don't define your path, your priorities, your values, the world does it for you. Society tells you what success should look like. Friends influence how you should spend your time. Fear shapes what you think you're capable of. And little by little, you stop living and start existing in someone else's story. You go to a job you don't love because that's what you're supposed to do. You scroll endlessly, not because you want to, but because it numbs the discomfort of your unfulfilled potential. You stay in routines that are draining your spirit because the alternative is scary and unfamiliar. And you keep telling yourself, it's fine, but deep down, you know it's not. Because you were not born to drift. You were not created to coast through life on autopilot. You were born with ideas, with fire, with untapped greatness. But if you don't consciously choose the life you want, with intention and clarity, the world will put you in a box, label it normal, and convince you that it's enough. It's not. It's not enough to wake up every day just to survive. It's not enough to live for weekends and hate 5 days of the week. It's not enough to look back one day and wonder what could have been. You deserve more, but you must choose it. Choosing your life means taking ownership. It means asking yourself hard questions. What do I actually want? What makes me feel alive? What am I avoiding because it's hard? What excuses have I made so often that they now sound like truth? This isn't about being reckless, it's about being awake. Choosing your life doesn't mean quitting everything. It means living on purpose. It means cutting out the noise and sans-voices. Getting clear on what matters. It means saying yes to what aligns with your soul and no to what drains your energy, even if it disappoints others. Because here's the truth. If you don't fight for your vision, you'll end up serving someone else's. If you don't protect your time, it'll be stolen by distractions. If you don't live on your own terms, you'll die on someone else's timeline. Wake up. This is your life. Not your parents', not society's, not your fears, yours. You get to write the story. You get to steer the ship. You get to choose. But if you don't, someone else will. And their version of your life, it will never feel like home. Choose boldly. Choose intentionally, because the cost of not choosing is a life half-lived. Time doesn't forgive, but it does reward the brave. Time is the most honest force in the universe. It doesn't lie, it doesn't bend, it doesn't slow down when you're not ready. It doesn't pause when you're scared. It doesn't rewind when you make mistakes. Time doesn't forgive, but it does reward the brave. Every second you waste in fear, in self-doubt, in hesitation, time moves forward. It doesn't care about your reasons. It doesn't wait for your perfect plan. It just keeps going. And while that might sound cruel, it's also empowering. Because time is neutral. It gives the same 24 hours to everyone. The only question is, how will you use yours? The brave aren't necessarily the smartest, or the most talented, or the most prepared. They're simply the ones who act. They see fear and move anyway. They feel doubt, but still step forward. They get knocked down, but they don't stay there. And time rewards that kind of courage. You want change? Then be brave enough to start. You want growth? Then be brave enough to struggle. You want success? Then be brave enough to risk failure. The world respects the ones who show up despite uncertainty. Time bows to those who understand its value, who refuse to waste it living small, afraid, or silent. Because bravery isn't about being fearless. It's about deciding that your dream matters more than your fear. It's about looking at the clock and saying, I won't let another day slip by. It's about breaking patterns, not perfectly, but consistently. And yes, it's going to hurt sometimes. You'll doubt yourself, you'll feel exposed, you'll fail, you'll hear criticism, but those are signs that you're alive, that you're trying, that you're in motion. The ones who never fall, never fly. The ones who never speak, never lead. The ones who never risk, never grow. Time has no sympathy for the person who buries their potential in comfort. Boo. It rewards the one who dares to be seen, to be challenged, to be transformed. So ask yourself, have you been using time or has time been using you? Have you been building something or just surviving your days? Are you moving through life or letting life move past you? It's not too late. As long as you're breathing, you still have power. But don't take that breath for granted. You never know how many you've got left. And every one you waste on fear is one that could have built your future. Don't be the person who looks back with regret. Be the one who looks back and smiles. Not because it was easy, but because you were brave enough to try. Time doesn't forgive, but it honors the fighter, the mover, the doer, the brave. One day it will be over. Make sure you lived it fully. One day the sun will rise, and you won't be here to see it. That's not meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up, because no matter how long we try to pretend otherwise, this ride has an ending. And when that day comes, when the final chapter is written, the only question that will matter is, did you truly live? Not just exist, not just breathe, live. Did you follow your purpose? Did you take chances? Did you tell people you loved them? Did you use your gifts? Did you chase your dreams even when it hurt? Did you write a story that made you proud? Because far too many people reach the end with regrets, not over what they did, but over what they didn't do, the words left unspoken, the risks never taken, the time they thought they had. We assume we'll always have later. We tell ourselves, someday I'll go after it, someday I'll slow down, someday I'll take the trip, someday I'll fix the relationship, someday I'll start the dream. But someday is a thief, and one day, someday runs out. You can't pause life, but you can miss it by playing safe, by staying quiet, by living small, by letting fear call the shots. That's how life slips through your fingers, not in tragedy, but in quiet moments of hesitation that pile up into a lifetime of regret. But it doesn't have to end that way. You can start living, really living, today. You can speak your truth. You can step into the unknown. You can stop settling and start climbing. You can take your pain and turn it into power. You can break the script and write a new one. No matter how far you've drifted, you can come back to yourself. No matter how long you've waited, you still have time. But only if you start using it like it matters, because it does. What if you lived each day like it was part of your legacy? What if you treated every moment as if it were a gift, not a guarantee? What if you stopped waiting for life to happen and decided to create it? At the end of it all, no one cares about your fears, your delays, or your doubts. The world remembers what you did, how you showed up, who you impacted, and most of all, how fully you lived. So before the curtain closes, make sure your story was worth telling. Don't die with your song still inside you. Don't leave your masterpiece undone. Don't let life pass you by while you're busy being afraid. Live now, live loudly, live purposefully, live so fully that when the end comes, you can smile and say, I didn't pause life, I lived it. So now you know, life doesn't hit the brakes for anyone. It won't pause while you gather courage. It won't wait while you decide who you want to be. The seconds keep ticking, the pages keep turning, and the question isn't if life will move on, it's whether you'll move with it or get left behind. You've heard the truth. The cost of waiting is invisible until it becomes pain. The little decisions you avoid, the dreams you shelve, the fears you surrender to, they pile up quietly. And one day, you wake up and realize you missed it. You missed the chance to fight for something. You missed the person you could have become. You missed the life that was meant for you because you chose safety over motion. But here's the good news. It's not too late. Not if you start now. Not if you stop playing small. Not if you take this message, not as another video, but as a shift in your soul. Because life doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be present. It doesn't ask you to know every step, just to take the first one. It doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards courage, motion, action. And action isn't always loud. Sometimes it's setting the alarm earlier, turning off your distractions, choosing discipline over comfort, speaking up when it's easier to stay silent, saying yes to growth even when your knees shake. These small choices, they're your rebellion against a wasted life. They are your declaration that you will not miss this. Because here's what happens when you finally stop waiting. You begin to wake up with purpose. You stop blaming time and start mastering it. You become someone who lives on fire, not someone barely getting by. You begin to realize your life doesn't need a restart. It needs you, fully present, fully committed, fully alive. So wherever you are right now, whatever you've done or not done, let it go. The past is over. The future is unwritten. And this moment is your power. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am done missing life. I am done sitting still. I am done wasting time on fear. Because when your time is up, you won't care how afraid you were. You'll care whether you lived, whether you tried, whether you showed up, whether you made your story count. So take this breath, this very breath, and use it to begin. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Don't let life pass you by while you're busy planning it. Live it, own it, and never, ever miss it again.